painted face stuff? Did they ever do that? Were you in those episodes? For a while they said, we're gonna change the camera in such a way that it's kind of like a negative, it's not a negative, so we have to paint your face yellow. So they paint your face yellow so that it looks like skin tone when they do whatever they do to the show.
Wow.
Except that they didn't always work. They just looked like we were yellow. But literally, it was, yeah, there's some kind of like, I don't know if they did a filter or they did what kind of effect they were going for. But literally, I was like, oh, I came in down the trailer and I got my costume. I'm tired, I hate everything. And they start from the makeup. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm fucking yellow! I'm fucking yellow! They're like, because we're on the red land. All right, fine.
That's a David on
That's
set.
the morning.
You wouldn't be very good with prosthesis then.
He's not good at money, is he?
No, I love that stuff because I just go to sleep.
Remember the last that thing we did? They said that you looked like Richard Nixon. And
Oh, yeah. We look like Nixon and Reagan.
We really do.
Yeah.
Yes.
If each of you had complete control over the writers, and obviously the stories were still going, is there anything you
They
would
never
have
got
liked to
past the
happen?
pilot.
Is there anything you would have liked to have had happen to your characters? Or anything you would have liked to have done?
Say more than 3 lines.
That would be get out of the chair.
Get out of the chair and go through the gate.
I don't know. They always came up for pretty awkward stuff for me to do. So you know, it was always a surprise what they had me do throughout the season. I don't know. I'm not sure what.
I don't know. Good question. I have no answer for you.
Good question. Ask the writers.
Yeah.
They'll write something for you.
They don't write our answers.
No, I have to say, I'm being facetious. I was a secondary character, but over the course of 10 years, which is a really long time to be on a show, I got to know the guys personally, and they just took my own personality after knowing me. Like I would get, be friends with Andy Nikita and hang out with Peter Bellows and all those guys, and then they would just start to go, oh, well, why don't we try this? And I just felt like they got to know me, so they gave me more stuff based on knowing me, which I thought was really cool. I mean, how many shows would that happen?
The characters definitely became more like our, on-set personality.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I know one person that's very much like his character. Yes, go ahead.
How much extra footage at the end of a shoot will they end up with, either in terms of, say, scenes they were going to put in but didn't, or gag footage? Because you don't seem to see a lot of the gag reels,
last
really.
season, we were literally shooting almost an extra day's stuff every episode. It was one of the things that we found really I found quite frustrating, because you're learning a lot of stuff.
Did it upset you?
Yeah. And,
Do they archive it, or is it
well,
just?
it's literally, like it takes, a show is 44 minutes or whatever it is. But so if you get a script that's 60 pages long, it's basically a minute a page. A lot of them are coming in long, so they were having to cut a lot of stuff. One of the McGillian and I had a scene about his turtles. That really cute little scene that they'd written that sort of bookended one of the episodes, and they had to cut the whole thing because they were too far over. And I was like, well, they're not gonna be
I'd like for you to become DVD extras.
Peter Delaway's for me. He started, he knew that I had like a comedy improv background. That's where I came from, and one day this is in terms of extra footage that you're talking about, like stuff like gag reel stuff or whatever. Started like years ago that I was in a scene with Don Davis. Don Davis is beside me, just doing his usual open the iris, and then I'm just sitting there and do the thing and get the scene easy enough. And then Peter, everybody figures that the scene's over. Peter comes over and goes, oh yeah, listen, we're gonna shoot that again, but don't tell Don. Just tell him to open his own gate. Just tell him to open his own iris. Tell him just say whatever you want. So I was like, really? And he goes, yeah, it'd be fun. I'm thinking this is like a $1 billion shoot, like $1 million a minute. He's like, yeah. So I was like, okay. See, and he goes, yeah, we're gonna shoot that again. Everybody's going, really? Oh, I thought it was okay. No, I saw something I didn't like, whatever. So Dawn Don's standing behind me, and he's like, "Oh, Sergeant, open the iris." And I just go like this. Why do you open your own fucking iris? Don, bless his heart, totally stayed in character. He just like goes. Oh, it's almost like, open the iris, close the iris, open the iris. You've seen me do it enough times. What the fuck do you do it? You know, I just went on for like a minute, and it's being filmed. It's like, you know, and I just got to the end, and I just hear Peter go, like this, and Don goes all laughing.
Always.
And Peter constantly made me. We would do scenes, he'd make me do my scenes again as William Shatner. Because I was in a show years ago in Vancouver called Star Trek the Musical, and I played Captain Kirk, and you know, whatever.
Did you sing?
I sang. I sang in a girdle. I said, if I'm going to be Kirk in this musical, and I'm going to get into a fight, I'm going to take my shirt off, and I'm going to have a girdle on. And then, okay. Anyway, so he knew that. He'd come and see the show. And so, you know, everybody does their Captain Kirk, oh my God. And so he'd just get me to redo my scenes as Kirk, as Shatner. And he did it once when, first time I ever acted with Beau Bridges. And he didn't tell Beau. It's like, here's Beau Bridges, you know, a big movie star. And he goes, yeah, redo this. We're going to do it. Do it as Shatner. I'm like, oh, Peter, no, fuck, come on, it's Beau Bridges. Just do it! Okay. And it's like, you know, just like, and action. I'm receiving SD1s. I receive. Beau Bridges is just like this. Just looking at me. He's just like, sort of like staring, and I'm like, oh my God. You know, like doing all the movements, and he goes, and cut! And everybody, and the crew had seen this like a million times by now. They're like, oh yeah. And I get up and Beau Bridges just looks at me. and I just go like this, Beau, just go with it. Tons of, like, lots of footage, like gag reel stuff.
Do you get to keep any of that?
Hmm?
Do they keep it?
Well, originally they didn't want outtakes because they were worried that it was going to, people were going to start doing stuff for the outtakes.
Right.
And
No, believe me.
but they were worried that the people were going to start goofing around. I don't know where that.
You know, the first couple of years at the rap parties, they showed gag reels at the rap party.
Well, they started putting them on the DVDs with Atlantis.
Yeah.
Because for years they told us there are no gag reels. There's nothing, you know. And then all of a sudden they're like, "Do you have any gag reel stuff?" I'm like, "What? You told us we're not doing any of that." So.
Yeah. So there's footage around, but
You wait.
you know.
18 printing of the
One Stargate universe.
extra slim on hollow cube.
It's like Stargate gag reel.
Yeah,
You have to offer certain favours to certain people to get them.
exactly.
In my meaning, I was meaning sexual favours to certain people.
Fair enough. Next question.
I think this is our last question because it's like 6 o'clock.
Is it really?
Yeah.
We gotta wrap it up.
We gotta wrap it up.
I see we have
Gary,
two.
you'd probably be able to answer